Hi, I'm Kelly from CRK Training. I'm here today with Molly, and in today's blog video episode, we're going to talk about moving your horse's hindquarters. So this is something that I've actually gotten several questions on from my readers and from my viewers here at the blog, so I wanted to answer it. So moving the hindquarters is a really important thing with riding your horse. It's important because we want to think more about riding the butt of the horse, riding more of their haunches than just controlling the front end. So the haunches is the powerhouse. The haunches is what we really want the horse to be using to carry himself in order to move correctly and to be able to carry our weight with his hindquarters under him and his back a little bit lifted. So this is a really important thing, and a lot of times we'll start it just by asking the horse to move from a standstill to move his hindquarters. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you that. Molly knows this really well, but I'm going to explain to you how I would start this step by step with a young horse. I'm going to show you specifically what essentially my finished cue is for Molly, and then I'm going to show you how I take it into a walk and then into a trot, still being able to have control and move the hindquarters a little bit. So a lot of times if I have a horse that's young or that's completely new to this, I will start on the ground first. So I'll do some of this on the ground, basically putting pressure in that same spot, which is back just a few inches from where my leg normally rests. I'll put some pressure there. As soon as the horse moves, I release it. So the key to this, the key with most things for training under saddle, is you put pressure to help shape the horse, to help put the horse where you want him. You need to keep the pressure consistent. If the horse ignores it, you slowly increase the pressure, basically just to a point where the horse finds it annoying enough that he moves and he starts trying to figure out what you want. As soon as they move even slightly in the right direction, you want to release. And the timing of your release is very important. So the release needs to be instantaneous, and it's got to be right when you get the correct movement. If it's too late, the horse is going to get frustrated that he's not finding the right answer. If it's too early or if it's too late, you could end up essentially telling him that the wrong move is what you wanted, and you end up with a behavior that you weren't looking for. Okay, so I'm going to start with, if she was completely new, I had never done this before from the saddle, I'm going to use my rein a little bit more as a crutch. So I'm going to move her hips that direction, over to the left. I'm going to start by tipping her nose here a little bit towards the right. So this just helps set her body up that she's going to move in the right direction. So it sets her up for success. You always want to think about, how can I make this as easy as possible for the horse to figure out what I want. So you don't have to bring their nose over this far. She's just offering it, so we'll let it there. I'm going to put on this leg. I'm going to move this leg back slightly, and I move my whole leg back. I don't just move my heel back, move my whole leg back a little bit, thinking about lowering my thigh, which is what pushes the lower leg back. And then I'm also going to look over my shoulder, and this is something that if you're new to this, it helps get your body more in the right position if you look over your shoulder. So it's not something that you're going to do all the time, but you can use it in the beginning kind of as a crutch for yourself to help learn what the correct cue is. So let me tip her nose again. I'm going to look over, leg back, good. And with her, it just takes a touch. If a horse is more green, you're probably going to have to apply more pressure, maybe a little more. As soon as they move, even a step, even sometimes a good lean in the right direction, release it. Give them a little praise, ask for it again. And just build on that slowly. Don't ask for more than that until the horse is getting it consistently here, and then you can start to ask for more and more. So I'm going to move her back this way. This time I'm going to show you a little bit more of my finished cue, so to speak. So now that she knows the cue with her leg, I don't use a lot of hand. The most that I might use is just a little bit here, which doesn't even hardly make contact with her mouth. It's just a little bit up with the left rein. My leg goes back, and then I release. So notice there, she moved sideways the first step, so I held it just kind of for an extra second. As soon as the hips moved over, and just the hips, then I released. So that's me being a little more specific, saying I don't want you to just move over, I want your hips. Here, leg moves back, and again I held just a little longer, good, until the hips moved. Okay, so let me show you how I would take this. Well, first I'll do just a little bit more. I'll kind of, instead of just doing a step or two, I'll go all the way around. And this isn't something that I work on extensively as far as just from a standstill like this. So she's not necessarily going to have her front feet as planted and as still that you would need or you would want if you were doing this in like a Western riding class or a trail class. Good girl. Good girl. And I'm good girl. I'm asking for each time, and then I'm releasing with each step. Good. Good. And here you'll notice I'm using just a little bit of the right rein to help keep her a little straighter. And when she does the other behaviors like the backing up, I just ignore them and I only release on the correct step, which is moving the hindquarters around. So like I said, she's certainly not perfect with that, but it kind of helps you see how even you want to ignore what you don't want, think about and focus on what you do want, release on that. So don't worry about trying to overcorrect or, you know, get too mixed up with the other stuff, because if you end up releasing as she's backing up or as she's wiggling somewhere else, you can basically tell her that that is what you want instead of just moving the hindquarters over. Okay, so let me take this into a walk. And I'm just going to show you. So here I'm walking her. Now I'm going to ask her to step out a little bit with her hindquarters and basically step underneath of herself. So this isn't really going to be a haunches out. This is more going to be stepping under herself. So I'm going to lift a little with the inside rein. I'm going to put my inside leg back. Good. And I just want that one step under. I'm going to do it again here. Inside rein, inside leg. And here I'm going to wait just a step there. So I want more of the hips stepping under than the shoulders. I'll do it again here for you. Inside rein, inside leg, good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take it into a trot and show you how we can do basically the same thing then at the trot. So I'm going to lift a little here, good. So this is helping her to balance. As she comes around that turn on the circle here, she has a tendency to get a little unbalanced. Good. So having her step underneath of herself helps keep her a little bit more balanced. Good. And I'll do it again here. Good. Okay, so that's basically kind of the progression of how I work on moving the hindquarters and then how I start to use it at the walk and at the trot. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And you can also see more riding and training videos, and there's usually a lot more discussion below the videos at my website, which is crktrainingblog.com. Thank you for watching.